Hi, my name's Chris and I live in Australia. And where's our fuel? We're running out of fuel. What's going on here, guys? We're running out of fuel. There's a crisis looming on the horizon right now. Let's have a look at what the news is saying about it all.
Oil prices are soaring. Some petrol stations are running dry, and tonight there's a warning that there could be more pain to come.
When the servo says sorry.
There is nothing. Your probably best bet would be to drive to Taylor.
In Karoonda, east of Adelaide, they're referring customers to the next petrol station, 50 kilometres away. The pumps are dry.
School buses can't fill up. Don't know how the kids are going to get to school.
Move it. Move it. Keep coming out. Everyone's coming behind you.
How much do you normally pay for a full tank?
Usually like 85. Oh, it's going up to 90.
Is that a lot?
That's a lot. So 93.
How do you feel about that?
It hurts.
$50 and it wasn't even a full tank, so is that a lot more than normal?
Yeah, usually I'd fill up $50 for a full tank.
Farmers warning they're close to running on empty.
Thursday they phoned and said, look, there is an issue. They've been put on a quota or an allocation system. And then by Friday they phoned again and said, look, there is a problem. There's no longer supply.
A lot of these service stations already put their prices up. When are we going to actually see the full brunt of it?
Quite honestly, I think it's going to be the fuel. It's going to be the major issue. How much availability of fuel we've got in Australia. We're a bit isolated out here. We don't do any own fuel. That's more the issue.
Australian production has been declining because oil in Australia is more expensive to produce than it is to import.
All the way home from the grandparents, the average I'll be $2.20. I didn't fill the whole tank because of that, so I only put about $50 in and it'll be less than half a tank.
It was very dear 50 years ago in the global petrol crisis, oil crisis.
Refineries are shutting down in the Middle East because tankers can't get out because of the war. Farmers and heavy industry are saying they can't secure contracts for diesel to keep the farms running, to keep the heavy machinery going. And our rural petrol stations are reporting out that they're drying out. They've got no fuel left. They're running out of fuel. Look, just like many of you, I'm already in a cost of living crisis, okay? Groceries going up, power bills going up. Now, with fuel shortages, that's going to skyrocket prices up on everything. You know, it's not just filling up at the Bowser that's going to hurt on this one. All your groceries and stuff you buy at the stores, it takes fuel to get them to the stores. It takes fuel to produce the goods. So that all goes up when fuel has a shortage, when fuel prices start to go up. For those with liquid natural gas, okay, liquid natural gas has already shot up 50%. That's going to impact your power bills. And aside from just general cost of living going up, the final nail in the coffin that's coming through is if our farmers don't have the fuel to run the farms and to get the food off the farms, well, that's our food security. Where's our food? Now, I've dug through a 167-page liquid fuel security review that was released from the government via a Freedom of Information Act. And I'm going to go down the path of things getting worse to show you what contingencies kick in, what our government is going to do next. But before we dig into that, I'm going to reach out to you, the community, to help me. Because I learn from YouTube just as you guys learn from YouTube. And I want you to jump in the comments to help me answer. How can we be prepared for this? I want every single person watching this to leave a comment down below and talk to others in the comments on how can we prepare for this. Share your ideas. What can we do? And this is not to get tankers in or anything like that. This is for how do you live? How do you survive? We're moving into that doomsday prepper kind of stuff, guys. So how do you prepare for the worst about to come? What should the average Australian be doing right now before fuel gets cut off? Are there things that they should be buying? Should they be buying a couple of extra things each time they go out to the grocery store to create a buffer for themselves? Should they be buying gas masks in case society completely collapses? Is there water filtration stuff you should buy? What can you do in your home now to get prepared for the worst? Or is it just simply too late for everyone and they should have been preparing years ago for this catastrophe looming on the horizon? Is it too late to start getting ready now? Leave your thoughts down below in the comments about that one. Be respectful, guys. Share it around. We're here to help each other, build each other up. Let's get Australians through this. But your thoughts, comments, and tips that you leave down below in the comments, it could be something that someone else reads that actually saves their life in the long run. Now, I'll run through what the government is going to do next based on their contingency plans. So right now, we are here. It is a global disruption. International prices are increasing per barrel. retail prices are increasing. And we are seeing petrol stations drying up, which is furthering retail prices increasing from short supplies. The Liquid Fuel Emergency Act of 1984 is about to kick in. To kick this all off, the Governor-General, Sam Mostyn, needs to declare a state of emergency, which will grant emergency powers across to the Energy Minister, which is Chris Bowen. And I hear some of you right now, no, anyone but Chris Bowen, please God, not Chris Bowen. But Chris Bowen gets the emergency powers to use. So the first phase that will kick in is retail rationing under the Emergency Act. This will impose limits to what you can buy at the Bowser. An example of this could be restrictions to only $50 per vehicle per day. Now $50 a day, that sounds like most will get by fine. That would have been a full tank for smaller cars or half a tank a day for larger cars. But if fuel jumps up in price and it's now $5 a litre, well, that would be 10 litres per day, significantly less than what $50 gets you right now. Retail rationing could also be banning all jerry cans being filled up. It could also impose further restrictions, only allow people to fill up based on their number plates being odd or even. Or if a petrol station gets low, it may restrict the fuel just to emergency service vehicles. So retail rationing, that's the first phase in a nutshell, is to reduce consumption to try buy some more time until supply lines open back up. Now, if supply lines don't open back up, the next phase is essential users under the Emergency Act. If supply is not coming in, the government closes retail and it moves to essential users only. These are ambulance, police, fire and rescue, public transport, and the Defence Force. The Bowsers are now closed off to everyday Australians. Now businesses, they'll be able to apply for essential service exemptions. These are your farmers and your trucking companies to keep moving food and medicine. Some will be accepted and some won't be. That'll be up to the government to decide. Now we've all heard about the 30-day fuel reserves, and a lot of people are like, well, we should have 90 and we're mandated to have 90, we're supposed to have 90 and 30 days isn't enough. Well, if we hit to this point where it's just down to essential users only and the emergency provisions, well, that 30 days is designed for all of Australia to keep running for 30 days. When we cut back that rationing just to essential users only, suddenly it lasts for about a year. Now, mind you, that's essential users only. That's not you driving anymore. Your car's in the garage. It's not going anywhere. Your car's empty. You cannot fill it up. You are now legally unable to fill up your vehicle. It is illegal to fill your car up from a petrol station in Australia because it's against the Emergency Act. You are not an essential user. And it stretches out to that year because we would get the odd tankers coming through, but the fuel coming in on them tankers, the government decides where it's distributed, and it's not going to go to you, it's not going to go to retail, it's going to essential users only. And that's their plan. That's all of it. We then ride it out to societal collapse. Now, across this time, what does your life look like? Well, if you remember back to COVID, it's going to look like a lockdown. We'll be moving back into lockdown times. Most retail is going to be closed, but this time shipping stuff in, buying stuff online and having it delivered to your house, well, that's pretty much going to be closed as well. Not going to be happening. Most services will be shut down, but you will be able to leave your house. But you're not going to get very far without transport. It'll be walks to the grocery store or walks to food collection hubs with the military there delivering food into towns. Or maybe government aid providers, something like that, but it will be government controlled coming in to deliver food to people and distribute food to people. And that could be a problem if you live rural or a fair way out of town. It could be quite a bit of a walk. If you're elderly, how are you going to do these big walks? Even close to town, like getting out to this and getting all your stuff back, walking, could be an issue. So we're going to see a lot of stress on society at that point. Construction will grind to a halt. Manufacturing, what's left of it, will grind to a halt. There won't be much economic activity happening in Australia. There will be mass unemployment. The government will kick in stimulus packages just like in COVID and start paying out, and that way you can spend the money on the food. There won't be much else to do in this scenario. A lot of farming in the country will grind to a halt because a lot of farmers won't be able to secure themselves as essential users, which then puts our food security system under strain. Food starts becoming scarce. We start seeing crime rise. We start seeing civil unrest, and bada bing, bada boom, here we are, societal collapse. Unless, of course, fingers crossed, the fuel supply lines open up again. So guys, that's along the path of that worst case scenario where the fuel stops coming into Australia. Australia can't secure the fuel anymore, and we start to really dry out. We move into all that emergency rationing and then essential users, and we just wait it out till the end of society. That's the path the bad case. Good case scenario, prices just go up for a little bit. There's some emergency rationing that kicks in. I think that's likely to kick in, emergency rationing. Not sure to what extent though, but then after that, things start to stabilise out. Fuel starts flowing back into the country again, prices start dropping down, and we get back to the new normal. But it stops and makes you think that knocking out the fuel can have such a widespread impact on the country. Gives some vibes, almost like by 2030 something could happen, always like there was an agenda. I'll let you guys comment on that one. But leave your thoughts down below in the comments. I hope it doesn't go down that path. I hope we're good, guys. I hope it all just stabilizes out over a couple of months and we're back to the new normal. I hope that's the case. But leave your thoughts down below in the comments about it all. Especially share things you're doing to prepare in case, it does hit the fan. Leave your thoughts. Try and help out the community. Talk to each other. I'll be reading through the comments, guys. Until next time, hang in there, stay safe, and take it easy. All right, Chris-O out.